One of the most exciting aspects of writing and even reading fiction is the world in which the characters live. Is it a world of anthropomorphic bears descending from the clouds to teach humans how to be better humans with zaps from their tummy tattoos? Is it a world where a ninja clan does battle with 4 or 5, in some continuities, mutated reptilian martial artists of adolescent age? Or is it a world where a lone high school girl is the chosen slayer to destroy all of the evil lurking in the fictional SoCal suburb of Sunnydale? We're going to be looking at how to take familiar elements and transform them into an imaginative new experience. I'm your host, Garrett K. Jones, and we are continuing our Season 5 deep dive into exploring elements of world building. Welcome back to The Right Way. We have a great episode in store for you with this week's content, but before we jump into this month's writing tips, there are a couple of announcements. Actually, there's really only one big announcement, and that is to let you guys know that my 5th book in my Archives of a Synchran fantasy series, The Mantle of the Fatherless, was released on February 3rd of this year. You can actually purchase a copy on either Amazon or you can purchase one directly from me. Those links are going to be found down in the video description. This has been a work of love and labor, blood, sweat, and tears, quite literally, and I really hope that you guys enjoy the 5th installment of my series. World building is one of the most crucial aspects of writing. We are going to continue looking at Ellen Brock's world building Bible template and applying it through the lens of Avatar the Last Airbender. Last month we examined what the Avatar's world looks like by exploring history and clothing. This month we are tackling 2 more categories from the 21 that Brock listed. Today we are covering food and entertainment. Let's dive in, shall we? The world of Avatar the Last Airbender has both food and entertainment sprinkled throughout the series. Given the fact that the series is heavily influenced by cultural elements and food and entertainment are both intrinsic to culture, it would make sense that the audience sees the characters interacting with these facets. We're going to start with food. Ellen Brock gives us 4 bullet points for us to work through. Staple foods, luxury foods, availability of food, and local and regional dishes. Given the fact that Avatar is based heavily in Asian and Eastern cultures, one of the staples that we see so often is rice. In fact, we see several places in the Earth Kingdom where we see rice paddies dispersed along the landscape of the Earth Kingdom. Other staple foods vary depending on region. Fish and meat are dietary staples of the Water Tribe, Fire Nation, and it can be assumed the Earth Kingdom as well. Meat is such a widely consumed food source that Sokka makes jokes about it.
It's pretty much my whole identity. Sokka, the meat and sarcasm guy. But I'm willing to be Sokka, the veggies and straight talk fellow. Deal? Aang! Thank goodness! Have you got any meat?
Beyond the rice and meat, we also see fruits and vegetables. You have normal standards like apples, bananas, bean sprouts, and cabbages.
My cabbages!
But there are also more exotic variants unique to the world, such as cucumber quat, or lychee nuts, sea prunes, and the like. We don't get much in the way of what is considered luxury foods, but they're usually more extensively prepared with additional ingredients and seasonings that wouldn't be considered common. And for the most part, food is available throughout the various countries. Food in the Southern Water Tribe does seem to be a bit scarce as they're still operating on a hunter-gatherer mode. But the Northern Water Tribe seems to have food readily available for its citizens with no real need to hunt as piecemeal as the Southern cousins do. The Earth Kingdom has some issues with food availability based more on how infiltrated certain areas are by the Fire Nation soldiers. Ba Sing Se is one area where, up until the end of Season 2, the availability of food is based more on class and affluence than any other factor. We do see food in its greatest availability in the Fire Nation, where we see tons of food vendors in various cities and towns, especially on Ember Island, which is a vacation location, and the capital of Azulan. Here's tip number 1. Make a decision regarding food availability. How is it available and where? Is there a cost? Is there a limit? The more detail you can provide for your reader makes the world you're building more tangible. But let's talk cuisine for just a bit. Not everyone eats the same things all the time, always. While most of the countries in the world of Avatar do eat meat, the air nomads stuck with a strictly vegetarian diet. Aang represents this very well. This is a lifestyle choice for Aang that continues on as the sole survivor of the air nomad genocide. In fact, he detests the idea of eating meat, even going so far as mistaking Sokka's blubbered seal jerky as kindling for a campfire.
Hey, who ate all my blubbered seal jerky?
Oh, that was food? I used it to start the campfire last night. Sorry.
Ew, what? Aw, no wonder the flames smelled so good.
Sokka, on the other hand, is the polar opposite. His diet mostly consists of eating nothing but meat. One of the most notable shifts in cuisine comes from the Fire Nation, which employs and extensively uses spice in their cooking. This isn't uncommon in the real world, where the further you travel in the equatorial latitudes, or the further south you go, the more spice you'll encounter. Case in point, the flaming fire flakes Sokka picks up during Season 3. So, here is tip number 2. What are some of the regional dishes that are served in your story? If you're writing fantasy, this can be really fun to develop because you can do pretty much almost anything that you want. One of the things that I have done with my series is the Kingdom of Merden. It has a lot of rice paddies along its coast and is known for its rice bread, which is cooked in a similar style as naan, where it hangs inside of a vertical oven. Plus, if you're a foodie like me, you can research different styles of food cooking processes and incorporate them into your world building. It's a lot of fun and it's really delicious. Let's talk entertainment. Brock's template asks authors to consider the following bullet points: professional sports, hobby and school sports, board and card games, music styles, common instruments, common themes and fictional subject matter, government and legal restrictions on entertainment, and affordability. Avatar provides a good mix of each bullet point. We get to see professional earthbending as an underground sport when we are introduced to Toph as the blind bandit. We don't really see much in the way of hobby or school sports, though we do get to see the training that is employed for the Kyoshi warriors and what they go through. And we do see an entire school for both waterbenders and the Northern Water Tribe. Now, of course, we do see Zuko and Azula dominate in a game of what can only be described as beach volleyball from hell. We do actually see board and card games in the series. Pai Sho is Uncle Iroh's favorite game. He loves it so much that he uses it as a metaphor for just about everything in life. It's either that or he makes a tea reference. That reminds me, I need to make tea. Excuse me for just a moment. Good tea. While we don't get much in the way of musical styles, we do get some use of the Sungi horn, even to the point where Aang gets sent to the principal's office for dancing, which in and of itself is a form of entertainment. We also get glimpses of literature, specifically poetry, during the Season 2 episode, The Tales of Ba Sing Se. we get a really cool vignette where Sokka finds a haiku challenge and actually does pretty well for a short while until he, well, take a look.
Poetry. Ah! I am so sorry. Something struck me in the rear. I just wound up here.
5, 7, then 5. Syllables mark a haiku. Remarkable oaf.
They call me Sokka, that is, in the water tribe. I am not an oaf.
Wow, I didn't realize just how much Sokka is featured in this segment. Oh well, moving on, we do actually get stage performances. In Season 1, we see a firebender using his skills to conjure all sorts of spectacles like a magician would. We get the circus scene in Season 2, but the ringmaster abuses Appa, so we won't spend too much time there. And let's not forget one of the best episodes of Season 3, the Ember Island players performing the best clip episode of all television history. So here's tip number 3. Develop ways for your characters to spend their leisure time. Do your characters play sports? Do they engage in hobbies? Do they watch performances? Do they read? The more of this information that you can provide, the more fleshed out your characters and their world will feel. But if you notice, I didn't talk about how the government or laws limit entertainment. I actually saved that for last because while we don't really see much of it in Avatar, it does happen. And the Ember Island Players episode is the perfect example of this. During the play, which wraps up the last 2 seasons of Avatar the Last Airbender, the performers put on caricatures of the main characters and main plot points. Aang is played by a woman, a typical trope during stage performances of Peter Pan. Sokka is played up as the wacky comedic relief, and Katara is played up as the overly emotional maternal figure. But pay attention to the actors playing Iroh and Zuko. The performances feel like a Saturday Night Live rendition meant to make fun of them, while the actors playing the Fire Lord is made to look heroic. More than likely, these are influenced by propaganda put out by the Fire Nation. So that's it. Follow these simple 3 tips and you'll be well on your way to developing some really great food and entertainment elements for your world building in the story that you are writing. Hey, thanks for watching. Please hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications on new videos. You can support the channel on Patreon and the merch store. Those links can be found down in the video description. And please make sure to tune in next week for the February live stream, which will be featured only on Instagram. You can follow me at GKJ_publishing. See you then.